Hello there, this is the news on NTA International. We are live in Abuja. I am Comfort Fashion, and let's bring you the headlines. New Pope emerges at second day of conclave. A diversity of nation pivot of its prosperity, says President Tinubu on one-day state visit to Anambra. The US and UK unveil new deal to cut tariffs. Cardinals have chosen a new pope, indicated by white smoke rising from the Sistine Chapel's chimney. The identity of the next pontiff is yet to be revealed as he appeared on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. 133 red-robed cardinals from around the world cast their ballots to elect the new pope, which came through at the fourth election. The identity of the next pontiff is yet to be revealed as he
Habemus Papam, eminentissimum, ac reverendissimum Dominum, Dominum Robertum Franciscum, Sancte Romane Ecclesiae, Cardinalem Prevost, qui sibi nomen imposuit Leonem decimum quartum.
The 267th Pope is Robert Francis Prevost, the first Pope from the United States. The 69-year-old Pope has adopted the name Leo XIV. And to talk on the emergence of the new Pope via Zoom is Reverend Father Daniel Gyang, Chancellor Catholic Archbishop of Jos. Hello, Reverend Father.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And to talk about the emergence of the new Pope there, how does it feel, especially among Catholics, on the emergence of a new Pope after the demise of Pope Francis?
Yes. Sorry, just to make a correction, it's a Chancellor Archdiocese of Jos, not Archbishop of Jos. Archdiocese of Jos.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, it feels so. It's a moment of joy and happiness for the entire Catholic world. We have waited and longed for this, and it's like hope come alive. With the demise of the Pope, there was we mourned, and he was laid to rest. Then the church went into the conclave, the cardinals, and we had all waited in joyful hope. And I can tell you, it's a moment of joy and happiness all over the Catholic world. So the feelings of that of joy and hope come alive.
Okay, what do you have to say about the process of Pope election?
I think the process of the Pope's election is, I can say, is divine. It's a divine venture. And as you can see, symbolized by the closing of the door. After the oath taking of the cardinals, everything was closed. And we, from this other side of the world, we went into prayers. The Catholic Bishops' Conference also sent us, through the secretary, notes that we all should be engaged in prayers. And we believe all the process that has taken place is truly divine. And God has spoken through the cardinals, and God has elected a successor of Peter for us.
All right. What should be the people's expectation from the new pontiff?
Yeah, as it is very true, the world looks up to the Catholic Church for direction, especially on moral issues, and also in matters of peace and dialogue in the whole world. We expect that the church is a continuum, is a long chain of tradition that has been there, and we wait on the new pope to unveil his direction, and we are all ready to follow. So we expect, as usual, a pope who will promote peace and unity in the world, a pope who will promote dialogue among people, a pope who will like the last pope, Pope Francis, who will also intervene and ensure world peace. So our expectations are many, but we hope that the new pope, and we are so sure that the new pope has been elected, and we shall follow wherever he leads.
All right, thank you very much, Reverend Father Daniel Gyang. He's the Chancellor, Catholic Archbishop of Jos.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed the determination of his administration to ensure even distribution of the resources of the country. The president stated this during his one-day official state visit to Anambra State. President Tinubu pointed out that Anambra-Kogi Highway will be constructed to boost the economy of the country. He noted that diversity of nation will be the pivot of its prosperity. And the federal government has launched the National Action Plan on Ending Violence Against Children in Nigeria, with a call for stiff enforcement of the Child's Right Act and other child protection laws that guarantee the safety, dignity and future of Nigerian children. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, stated this at the first regional meeting of the Africa Pathfinder countries of the Global Alliance on Ending Violence Against Children at the Presidential Villa. Istira's correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
On behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, to unveil this National Action Plan on protection against child violence.
A commitment to establishing a dedicated child protection and development agency to ensure coherent coordination of all issues relating to the Nigerian child. President Tinubu assured that relevant government institutions, including the Ministry of Women Affairs, are armed with the required training and resources to spearhead the protection of the Nigerian child.
We are strengthening existing institutions and laws and launching national campaigns to promote awareness and drive behavioral change. We are also building institutional frameworks that guarantee children's issues are never again consigned to the periphery of policy making. These issues will now take center stage in interministerial collaboration, in policy innovation, and in budgetary priorities, through dedicated grant mechanisms that support this vision. This is what it means to be a pathfinder.
underlining the importance of the first regional meeting of the Africa's Pathfinder countries under the Global Alliance on Ending Violence Against Children. Vice President Kashim Shettima reaffirms Nigeria's commitment to significantly accelerate efforts ensuring child protection and well-being are prioritized on the national agenda.
We must invest in prevention. Prevention is not only more humane, it is more cost-effective. Parenting programs, school-based safety campaigns, community sensitization, and empowering our children as agents of change must be scaled up.
National policy on safety, security, and violence-free schools. We also have a safe school declaration, but notwithstanding, upon seeing the rising crisis of violence in school, the ministry recently launched the national policy on anti-bullying in Nigerian school with its implementation guideline. This was done on Monday, 5th of May, 2025.
The National Homegrown School Feeding Program, so that we can reach out to many children, improve their nutrition, school enrollment, and also completion rate. And this, we believe, will significantly improve the prosperity and rights of Nigerian children.
I just want to finish telling that Africa, my God, it's the youngest continent in the world, and children have to be seen as an asset to invest on and not as a problem to resolve.
The heads of delegation of the regional meeting from Zimbabwe, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone and Burkina Faso stated the recommitment of their various countries to the Global Alliance to Ending Violence Against Children, as declared in November 2024. They presented progress reports from their respective countries, commending Nigeria, urging all stakeholders to be intentional about ending violence against children to actualize the objectives. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Nigeria has congratulated the Federal Republic of Germany on the election of Friedrich Merz as the country's new chancellor, describing the outcome as a testament to Germany's enduring democratic values. A statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs praised the peaceful and transparent electoral process that led to Merz's victory after securing 325 votes in the 630-seat Bundestag on Tuesday, May 6th. Nigeria also expressed optimism in deepening its strategic partnership with Germany under the new leadership to focus in key areas such as trade, investments, security and sustainable development to further advance multilateral cooperation through platforms like the United Nations. The ministry assured Nigeria's support to work closely with Merz's administration for the benefit of both nations and the global community. And Donald Trump and Keir Starmer have unveiled details of the US-UK trade deal. Trump says the deal involves American exports of beef, ethanol and other agricultural products. Trump says the deal has been years in the making and congratulates Starmer on being the prime minister that made it happen. Starmer agrees on the phone, saying they have managed to achieve what many people have tried to achieve for many years. Starmer, speaking via video call from the UK, says the deal will boost trade across both countries and will boost jobs on both sides of the Atlantic. He also speaks about the industries this deal will impact, including steel and car manufacturers. Starmer added on the phone that in the end, the deal comes down to economic security, which is also national security. For Trump, this is a much-needed win on tariffs, and he is so far sound triumphant. Currently, most goods imported to the U.S. from the U.K. face 10% tariffs with higher rates on steel, aluminum and cars. The U.K. also charges tariffs on some U.S. goods as Trump hangs up the phone. He thanks Starmer and says he might see the PM soon. We take a break now. Stay with us. We'll be back soon.
I therefore call on my colleagues, or media professionals and editors, to be discerning in their reportage. We must deny these groups the undue publicity they crave. We must take them off the front pages and accurately report them as the criminals that they are, without glorifying their acts or giving credence to their false narratives. These, of course, are not freedom fighters. They are murderers, kidnappers, and destroyers, and they must be presented as such.
To further talk about the new pontiff's election, we have joining us from the Vatican is Father Ibiemi Victor.
Good evening.
Good evening, Father Ibiemi Victor.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine. Can you tell us the mood at the Vatican now? What the mood is like?
Okay, thank you. Everybody is very happy here. It has been rounds of claps and then chantings and then prayers and then smiles, and then people are very happy. We are happy that we have a new Pope. The mood is indescribable. It's joy, and it's joyful, it's beautiful, and it's bright in Rome. Sure.
Thank you, Father Ibiemi. What is your expectation from the new pontiff?
Okay. The first thing to mention is his name. I mean, when a new pontiff is introduced, he picks a new name, and that name defines what his pontificate will be like. And then for Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who was the prefect of the dicastery for bishop, and now Pope Leo XIV, tells us that his pontificate is going to have a serious dialogue with the world. The church is going to be more involved in the social affairs of the world, because Pope Leo XIII had so many definitions for the social doctrines of the church, so many dialogues, so many communications, so many interaction with the modern world, which built the social doctrines of the church. So for our new Pope choosing Leo and then the 14th, I think he wants to continue in that light.
What's next from the Catholic Church?
I didn't get that, excuse me.
What do you think, what should be expected from the Catholic Church?
Like before, like what Francis the First now did, there's going to be so much, like I said earlier, so much interaction with the world, so much direction, so much communication with the world. A church that is involved in everybody's life, involved in the world, involved in politics, involved in social affairs, involved in the spirituality of the people, involved in lifting the people, a complete integral formation and integration of the people of God. That is what we should expect. That is what the Catholic Church is expecting, and that is what the world is expecting.
All right, can you tell us what is the next for the Catholic Church after the election? What is next for the Catholic Church after the election?
Okay. There is nothing more than what we have been doing, bringing Christ to the people, leading the people back to Christ. And like I said, in this new era, it's going to be more involving, more involving the social affairs. So the church is going to speak more, it's going to interact more, it's going to be involved in the life of the people in totality. That is it for the Catholic Church.
Thank you very much, Father Ibiemi from the Vatican.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says, given the difficult geopolitical situation and global uncertainty, the Russian-Chinese foreign policy nexus is the most important stabilizing factor in the international arena. He said this during extended talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
Chinese President Xi Jinping visit ahead of Kremlin's Grand Victory Day celebrations. President Xi Jinping says his country's tie with Russia is injecting positive energy into the world in turmoil. On his part, President Putin says relations between Russia and China benefit the people of both nations, as well as the willing rest of the globe agreeing to partner with the nexus put down by Russia and China that had proven to be objective. President Putin told Xi Jinping that their nations are defending the historic truth about World War II, which accuses the West of wanting to distort. Chinese Foreign Ministry say the visit is further premised on the intention to build good neighborly relations, strengthen friendship, and expand cooperation as a choice of Russia and People's Republic of China based on strategic interaction, as well as open up to further friendship with the rest of the world. Although the Soviet Union and China were among the main allies fighting against the Axis forces, the two did not see significant action side by side in World War II. In other news, Julian Naessens, 101 years old, and Henry de Ultramont, 100 years old, are the last two living Belgian soldiers who fought in the Second World War. They were members of the Piron Brigade when they learned of Nazi Germany's surrender 80 years ago. On the occasion of commemoration ceremony in Brussels, the two men were reunited. They say they hope people will be intelligent enough to not repeat those horrors. Kolom Hamad, NTA News.
As the world marks World Red Cross Day, National President, Nigeria Red Cross Society says this year's theme, Keeping Humanity Alive, speaks to the mission of millions of responders who run towards dangers and emergencies, not away from it, to protect human dignity. Deborah Balak-Bugbo reports that the group embarked on a roadwork to drive home the message of humanity.
World Red Cross Day is observed every year to celebrate contributions of the International Red Cross and Red Crescent societies that play crucial roles in disaster relief, healthcare, refugee assistance, and conflict response around the world. This year's celebration continues to serve as a reminder that empathy and organized support can change outcomes.
We have to charge ourselves. We need our advocacy for this society.
British Red Cross is here in the long term. We have signed a 10-year partnership agreement with the Nigerian Red Cross to support the Nigerian Red Cross in addressing the humanitarian challenges in the country.
We are celebrating the work of our volunteers that you see here today. On side of being humanity really means we elevate suffering wherever it is found.
The World Red Cross Day came to be in 1948, 3 years after the end of World War II, when the world was still healing from the horrors of conflict, and the need for a day to recognize humanitarian efforts was apparent. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubo, NTA News.
The newly appointed Chief of Mission of the International Organization for Migration, IOM, in Nigeria, Dimanche Sharon, has expressed her commitment to deepening collaboration with the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, towards enhancing safe, orderly and regular migration while strengthening diaspora engagement strategies. The IOM chief, while commending NIDCOM's strides in diaspora engagement and migration management, emphasized IOM's readiness to collaborate more strategically with NIDCOM in areas that will add value to the efforts of the government and deliver on the shared promise of safe migration. IOM and NIDCOM have been engaged in a safe return on reintegration of Nigerians stranded abroad, especially during humanitarian crisis, a feat the NIDCOM boss has promised to maintain. Senate has just passed 2 tax reform bills as it concludes clause-by-clause consideration. The Senate on Wednesday commenced consideration of the report on the 4 tax reform bills, passed 2 during plenary and scheduled the remaining 2 for Thursday. The 4 tax reform bills passed are the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, and the Nigerian Tax Bill. The 4 executive bills seek to transform and modernize tax system in Nigeria. A conference committee has been set up for harmonization with the House of Representatives, after which the bill will be transmitted to President Tinubu for assent.
What we did in these bills, we have created the Nigerian Revenue Services with an executive vice chairman and a non-executive chairman. And we said the Nigerian Revenue Service will need not less than 6 executive directors.
I just want to say that we believe that we have done what we did in the last 6 months in overriding public interest.
These 4 bills for Mr. President to sign, which will not only bring peace to Nigeria, will bring more money to Nigeria and development, and then leave the bills as legacies for future generations.
Up next is our weather update. Thanks for joining us on the news. I am Comfort Fashion, and Ozemena Precious is our sign language interpreter.